Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chalavet Movies. My name is John and I've just been to Newcastle to spend some money and I'll show you what I've picked up. Now what I'm going to do is, I don't know if this video is going to be tagged onto another video or it's going to be its own video. At this point I'm not too sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat it as its own video and I'll show you what I've got. And then I will come back on and then tell you what I thought of these movies when I check them out to see what the picture quality is like on them, because I'm quite interested to see what some of them look like. But I'll just show you what I've just picked up when I've been up there. I just went up there on a sort of a bit of a whim, and I was quite surprised. These things I've been after a few of them for quite a while, and I've seen them in a sale or for a decent price. So I thought, yep, I think I'll get them. So yes, so first of all, I went to CEX and I picked up this, and I've never seen this with a slip actually, and it is The Lone Ranger. Now I'm quite well aware that this movie isn't great, but I remember seeing a bit of it on TV and I thought, it's not too bad this. I think I'd watch it sometime in full. Never saw it again. And I thought if I ever saw it in CEX or something for cheap, I would just pick one up maybe in Poundland. But it's one of the ones, of course, when you want it, you never see it again. And this one here, I've seen this loads of times. Never even thought there was a slipcover on it actually. So when I saw this for $150, I thought, yep, I'll get that. Like I say, I know it's got its limitation, I know it's a gigantic flop, but I do want to see it, and it's one of those ones that's escaped me, and I didn't even, when you just haven't got it in your mind, you just walked in and you said, I'll have a bit of that. So next I went across to HMV, and there was a few things in there that I've been after for quite a while, and there was some decent offers on them. Now this first one here, I can't believe that a long time ago, I was after a movie called In the Realm of the Senses on Criterion. And it came with, in the same pack, two other films. One of them was Antichrist, which I did watch and I didn't enjoy whatsoever. It's one of the most bleak and depressing movies you will ever see in your life. I know it's brutal as well, but the brutal stuff is second to the fact of how depressing that movie is. So if you want to be utterly depressed, go and watch Antichrist, but never mind. Also was this film on Criterion, which I sold immediately. I sold the other two, and I effectively ended up didn't pay anything for In the Realm of the Senses. But of course, when I think back on it, I think, what was I doing? Anyway, it is the Arrow version of Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. Now, this has got a great picture on there. I don't think it was ever released on a slipcover. Also, it's an Arrow Academy release, and they've just started releasing these Arrow Academy ones in the sale, which I never usually have them in sales, which is quite good. Interestingly enough, it's got David Bowie's got the same coloured eyes. Now, as you know, David Bowie didn't have the same coloured eyes. He had two different coloured eyes, or did he? It really, the thing that was the difference in it was the size of his pupils. And as you can see on this one, his pupils are a bit different. So there's a bit Bowie trivia for you. Really interested in seeing that, because I know I did put the Criterion on. It looked absolutely stunning. I just saw, it's one of my, if anyone says what's your biggest regret, it's not my biggest regret, but it's one of my regrets that I didn't keep the Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence Criterion, because I'm a big fan of David Bowie. I mean, who isn't? Okay, so next, this is purely, and I remember seeing this a few times, and I just looked at this slip and thought, yeah, I think I'll have that. I think I've seen this movie a long time ago. I don't think I was that impressed by it, but I will give it another shot, and the slip did sell me on it. And it is also a director's cut, Dream Demon, so it might be good. This version might be better than the one I saw. I remember thinking it was all right, but nothing to shout home about. But for $7.99, nice slip, because you know I'm like for slips. I was just a bit of a sucker for slips, so this one did get my interest right up. So next, I remember they did have this on DVD for about £5. So I thought, I wonder if they've got a special on the 4K, which I've been looking at for quite a while. It's never been in any sales. It's never been cheap. It's always been a stupid amount of money. But it was in there for $14.99, and it is Apollo 11. Now, I really am interested in this movie. I don't know why. I'm not really huge on space in general, but this movie did really appeal to me, and for $14.99 it appealed to us a lot more than it did for $24.99, because I might not like it, but I do think that this movie is one that could really interest me, and my wife's up for watching this as well. So yeah, $14.99, and like I say, I've never seen this cheap before. Now next was a movie that I've been after for a long time, and I remember seeing this on the TV, and I saw that it was a really good quality on on, I think it was on high definition on the TV on BBC Two or something, and I thought that would look good on a Blu-ray. Of course, it came out on Blu-ray as an HMV exclusive, but it came out for like quite stupid money, and I thought, and it's also in a steelbook form. I don't really collect steelbooks, as you know, but I've never seen it in any other form. I don't think it's going to come out in a regular release, and it was in a sale, and I was lucky enough to get this in another film I've been after for quite a bit. So anyway, it is, and I hope it's as good as it looked on TV. The Hindenburg. Now this is on one of the HMV Japanese disc covers, exclusives, steelbooks. Now I'm quite a fan of this. I would prefer it if they'd just done this on a sort of regular release, but the steelbook's very nice, I've got to admit. And I do think that this movie, if it's done right, will look stunning on Blu-ray. So, and I remember watching the movie on TV, and I was really impressed by it and really interested. And actually, it's got a really stellar cast. I think it's from around about 1976 or thereabouts. So really happy to get that. And also, of course, I've been after this for quite a while, but it's always been 2 for $25. That's quite an awkward sale for HMV, because there's never anything else in there for 2 for $25. You'd have to get another one of these steelbooks, and all the other films in there, apart from the hardware, I'm not really interested in, if I'm honest. So what I did see was, and it was the only one that was in this range, was 2 for $25, because there's a few that I would have got with this one, but this is the only Hammer film on 2 for $25. So as part of this, and when I did take the till, the book says I don't think they're in the same office, and that's offer, and I said I think they are, made, but he did give us a 2 for $25, and it is Hammer's To the Devil a Daughter. I think, if I'm right in thinking, this is the last sort of Hammer horror film, and I'm going to say it's from about 1976, and this is the last one that they put out, I think, or The Devil Rides Out is the last one that they did. They did a couple of these devil sort of movies, and they wrapped it at that point in the mid 70s. They sort of call it a day. So that was the end of the Hammer horrors. But so glad to pick up another Hammer. I've been after a lot of more Hammer titles, and there's a few there, but they never seem to be just in any sales or any offers. So really pleased to get that. So yeah, so I just thought I would do that quickly, because I've just been up, and I thought I was only expecting to pick maybe 1 or 2 things up, and I've come out with that stuff, which I'm really pleased with. So what I'll do now, I'll go and unbox it and open it and have a look at them and see what they're like, and I'll tell you what the picture quality is like on them. Okay, here's my thoughts on these movies. The Lone Ranger looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, when I saw it on the TV, I thought it looked nice, but it's looking really good on this this Blu-ray. In fact, it's got one of them ones that looks a little bit 4K to a certain extent. I am interested in watching this. It was a massive flop when it came out. I think they were wanting to do a series of these movies, didn't go anywhere, and it's a comedy, but I like the look of it as well. It looks really nice, the fact that they shot all this out in the sort of desert and stuff like that, and the cowboy atmosphere of it. One that's very easy on the eyes, so it might not be the best of films, but I do think it's a visual sort of one to watch. Next, Apollo 11. I do think that they didn't need to put the fact of this E on, which means exempt from classification. Did they need to stick it on there? I mean, it doesn't really need to be on there if it doesn't actually need a classification, so why stick one on anyway? So the fact that this movie is shot in the footage is from 1969, and it's on 65mm, and they found it somewhere and they cleaned it all up, and it just looks stunning to see this footage from 1969 looking so good. Obviously the garbs and the clothing and everything gives it away, but the picture quality is stunning on it. Actually, the colors in it, the HDR works a treat on this. Obviously some of this footage is maybe a bit grainy because of the sort of sources it was taken from, but the majority of this sort of behind the scenes documentary was shot in 65mm, so it means that it would look absolutely pristine, and I'm so glad to get this one, and I can't wait to watch it. It looks a very interesting documentary, but stunning picture quality, strangely enough, for 1969 documentary. Now next is Dream Demon. Now this here director's cut, now I did remember something about it. It is a British film, and when I flicked it on, here's the alternative art. It was starring, well, not starring, but in it was Jimmy Neal, a local Geordie lad who's made good in he was out of Off Wiedersson Pet, and also Timothy Spall was in Off Wiedersson Pet as well, which is very strange. So you get a poster in here, and you get a booklet, so you get a lot of stuff in this release actually. it might not be the best of movies, but I'm actually quite interested in watching it again. It's got a 2K restoration and it does look absolutely stunning. It looks much better than the VHS. I don't really remember what the VHS looks like, but I remember being a bit underwhelmed by it, but I'll give it another shot. You never know. Next up is Mr. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. Now, like I say, I had this on Criterion. I watched a bit of it and I thought it looked stunning, but I just didn't think I was going to be interested in keeping it. That was a big mistake. So when I look at this one, I thought, does it hold up the Criterion? Because I remember what it looked like. It looked like really nice, and this one does look really nice. It might be using the same master, if I'm honest, because I know that the Criterion and Arrow Academy are not interlinked, but I think they're friends in a sort of way. I know that sounds a bit weird, but I do think that the people behind that Arrow Academy were trying to do a bit of a sort of British Criterion range, which I don't think it actually turned out to be, but I'm really pleased that they put this one in before they folded, and it looks absolutely stunning. Also, the fella here, Ryuichi Sakamoto, he is in a band called the Yellow Magic Orchestra, who I'm a big fan of, and obviously these are two musicians. I don't know if they actually did anything together. I would like to think that they did do, but the soundtrack is by Ryuichi Sakamoto. I don't know if it's with his band Yellow Magic Orchestra. He's done it as a solo project, but the music on here is stunning, and everybody who's heard it, even if you're familiar with this movie, you probably from the 80s would have heard this theme tune played quite a lot, and the picture quality here is stunning actually. So it doesn't say anything about if it's from a 4K or a 2K, but it's crystal clear, and it's a great film as well. I just wish I hadn't got rid of the Criterion. Next, I went and checked out the Hindenburg. I took the J card off. The J card was a bit of a swing to get off, so I took it off. I'm going to keep it off actually, because I don't really think that they need to be on here. So that's the front and that's the back. Get some great artwork on here. I don't know if this is some of the original artwork or not, but I like the look of this Steelbook. It's really nice. You get some disc art, and you also get some interior art there. Like I say, it's a lovely presentation this. So when I watched this on the TV, I thought it looked really nice, and I thought if I can do a good Blu-ray of this, it will look stunning. And I tell you what, when I put it on, it's one of them ones where it's borderline 4K. The picture quality on here is absolutely jaw-dropping, and the movie itself is a quite a good little premise on the whole Hindenburg, why did it crash. It's got a bit of a spy espionage thing going on behind it, and it's a very, very interesting film. I think it's only available on this release, unfortunately, if you're in the, but they've got plenty of them in HMV, and currently it's in 2 for £25, so it's a good bargain. Next, To the Devil, a Daughter, and it's starring in the first role Natasha Kinski, Klaus Kinski's daughter. Christopher Lee is absolutely brilliant in this movie. I can't remember much of it, but when I put it on, I saw a couple of clips of him being Christopher Lee with his voice, his menacing voice. It looked like, and I must have seen this back in the day, just haven't got much of a recollection of it, but I do know anything with Christopher Lee and anything Hammer for me is a winner. And yep, so that's another thing in the Hammer collection. Still got quite a way to go, but I'm interested in picking all of the sort of classic horror or thereabouts movies. So thanks for watching this impromptu kind of quick unboxing of these things I've just picked up in HMV. Also as well, next week hopefully I'm going to be doing a lot of 4K content. I had originally planned to make a brand new 4K, my top 10 4Ks. Now when I looked at them, there's not much change in the top 10, so I thought, well, I can't really do that. I'm just going to be retreading that. I'll have to watch. I've got in my collection, I've got 55 4Ks that I haven't watched, so I think when I start watching more of them, I'll have a bit more information if some of them creep into my top 10, and then I can sort of like do a revised top 10 list if they do come into that category. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to also rank I have everyone's I've watched. I think I've watched about 40 of them. I can show you the ones I've actually watched. Now what I would like to think is that if you are, for instance, like I do at times, I go into a HMV and you get your 2 for 20 sale, or 2 for 30 sale, sorry, and you think to yourself, right, what I'll do is I'm going to go and pick another title in there, and you pick one up and you think, oh, is this good or is this not good? What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and show you that, there's your wife coming in. What I'm going to do is, hello. I think she doesn't want a video. She's not in a video bomb it, but she probably thinks she is. So what I'm going to do is, hopefully you can use that information if I show you what I think of this particular movie. If it's up in the 2 for £30 sale, you can say, well, that's got this, that's got that, so you know it's going to be a good version. And it might help somebody who's thinking along the lines of, I'm going to pick some 4Ks up, but I'm not too sure. These ones I'm going to show to you, because if they're in my collection, they're going to be half decent to excellent. And I'll take you through sort of my ones I've watched. That's some of the things I'm going to talk about next week, hopefully. And it's going to be kind of, the next few videos are going to be like 4K heavy. It's just, it come up on me list to do's, and I thought, right, it's time to put this out. So anyway, thanks once again for watching. You take care, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.